So before we begin, I kinda need to make something very clear. This video will have absolutely zero spoilers about Outer Wilds. I need to reiterate, zero spoilers. Hell, this video won't even tell you what Outer Wilds is even about. So if you haven't played it, I would strongly urge you to continue watching. And if you have played it, I'm really interested to see if you share similar thoughts about this game as me. I did a full playthrough of this game on my Twitch channel and beat it a few days ago. Ever since, there really hasn't been a moment where I haven't thought about this game. So, to anyone who hasn't played this game before, just please stop whatever you are doing and just, for like 10 minutes, let me try to convince you on why you should play Outer Wilds. I promise you, it'll be worth it. Okay. Fuck. Outer Wilds is unlike any other game I have ever played. Now, I need to make something kind of clear. Many games have used specific elements and themes that are explored in this game, but none have ever properly conveyed those things through its gameplay like this one. To explain what I mean by this, because that sounds kind of confusing, let me tell you the story of how I was convinced to play this game, and rant a bit about David Cage along the way, just a tiny bit. If you don't know, I have a close friend named Shane, and we both share a massive love of games that push the medium forward. This is why we both have such a mutual hatred of David Cage. It's not because his games are poorly produced, have terrible dialogue, and have some of the most insufferable writing of all time. Okay, well, those all are factors, but they aren't just the main reason. We mainly despise his games so much due to the fact that we feel he is actually insulting the artistry of the medium with his games. David Cage has made it very clear many times by saying that he would rather be making movies, and that he also feels that the next step in evolution for video games is to make them more cinematic and less experiential. The phrase, "game over is a failure of the game designer," was coined by him, and weirdly enough, I feel like on the surface, that could be a very interesting theme to explore as a game developer. However, the way Cage was describing that idea meant that he wanted to make a game that was binary, always playing out the same way. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't choices in his games, and even though some of his games would have different decisions you could make to alter the story, it would still restrict the player to follow that story until the end, no matter what the player wanted to do instead. The game would give you these choices, but that was it. That was all you really had to express your freedom. You could literally fail all the prompts in some of his games, and the story would play out the exact fucking same. Just look at Beyond Two Souls. I don't like that game. I really don't. But like, the thing that upsets me with Cage the most is that he is constantly parroting this idea that he is a genius, pushing the medium of games to its absolute conclusion. But like, what from any of his games could you not get from something like a movie, or even a book? Like, hell, his most interactive game, Detroit Beyond Human, has an incredibly dense amount of different paths and options, but the game ends up playing the exact same as a choose-your-own-adventure novel that R.L. Stine used to make. There is nothing in any of his games that could not be done in any other medium. Okay. Now... Oh, okay. The reason for this long-winded rant about David Cage in a video about fucking Outer Wilds is to thoroughly showcase how both Shane and I want to see more actual games that push the boundaries of the medium forwards. You know, like, I play so many games in my free time, and I really don't feel like many of them push the medium forward. So, color me surprised when one day Shane excitedly recommends the game Outer Wilds to me, and says that it is not only the best game he's ever played, but it's completely changed the way he thinks a video game can tell a story. This excited me a lot, but it was the pitch he gave me that made me buy the game as soon as the conversation was over. And I hope it can do the same to you. If I wanted to right now, I could start a new game and at a leisurely pace beat the entire thing within 15 minutes. However, the entire game is about discovery and unraveling the mysteries of the world the developers created. Now that I've figured out what that mystery even is, I can never play the game the same way again. This is what Outer Wilds is at a core level. It's a mystery. It's one of the best mysteries I've ever fucking seen in a game. It's such a good mystery that both I and even the game are unwilling to tell you what you should even be fucking curious about. That's up to you to figure out. You know, one of my biggest pet peeves in games recently is when fans of a game pitch the fucking product to me by saying, this game is amazing, but don't look up anything about it. And like, this bothers me mainly because this already tells me so much about the game without me even purchasing it. 90% of the time when someone says this, it is a game that has some sort of twist, mainly a meta twist, and God, I'm sick of meta twists, that is supposed to entirely change how you perceive the game. By telling me not to look up stuff about it, you were already prepping me to expect some big reveal and secret that the game is hiding. And this isn't the case with Outer Wilds. When I say don't look up anything about the game, it's not because there's some grand twist that the game is suddenly going to turn into a genre-shifting first-person shooter or anything. No, it's simply the fact that Outer Wilds is about discovery. In a way, it does the inverse of what another genre-defining wild game does, Breath of the Wild. That game starts with a giant prompt that tells you exactly what your main objective of the game is: defeat Ganon. It doesn't tell you the steps on how to do that, and instead pushes you to build your own path to achieve that goal. Outer Wilds is unique in that sense, because it doesn't even tell you what the goal of the game is. You just explore. And only when you fully utilize that freedom will you finally begin to figure out what the fuck is even going on in this game. And because of this, there's really no real wrong way to play Outer Wilds. And here's the thing. If that whole pitch didn't really sell you on why you should play this game, then I feel that I should reveal my personal experiences with this game just a bit more. Okay, this is where it's gonna get a little personal here, so just a fair warning. Might be a tiny bit raw. Okay. After I had purchased the game off of Shane's recommendation, I instantly booted it up, played a few hours, and realized that I apparently have a phobia of space. And it apparently is a really fucking bad one. Which is weird to me. It's so fucking weird, because throughout my entire life, I've always had a huge fascination with space. I can watch a movie like Interstellar and gawk at the beautiful sights and sounds of just the great unknown. Space is an aspect of nature that we as humans can just never understand, and it deserves the utmost respect. But with that respect also comes terror. Outer Wilds respects the absolute fuck out of space, to the point where it showcases both the intrinsic beauty of it and also the horrors of it. Now, while I have no problem playing other games with space themes, like, I don't know, Mario Galaxy or even Elite Dangerous, this game's overwhelming respect when it comes to showcasing space scares the absolute fuck out of me. Now, to show you what I mean, I'll play a few audio clips of just some of the most terrifying moments I have ever experienced in a game, just period. What did I just do? What did I just do? I don't want to unpause. I don't want to unpause. I don't want to unpause. I did it. I did it. I did it. No, give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second.
You get scared by everything. Were you like this as a child? Like when they handed you like a toy train and then you press the button on it and went like, "Rrr, rrr," did you like freak out and run? I'm sorry, this is really mean.
No, that's really funny. Now, this creates a pretty big problem for me. I wanted to play this game so bad. Every time I booted up this fucking game, I would be greeted with at least one thing that would completely shift my viewpoint of both the game's world and just also the nature of what a video game could be. So what I did was decide to ask Shane to watch me play it while on my stream. I would play the game once a week, and Shane would be there basically just to comfort me. He never once told me what to do. He never once told me where to go. And again, never even told me what the fuck was going on. He was just there to help calm me down while I explored the game. And fuck. I can't thank him and his fiance Allison enough. Like, legitimately, I'm getting like kind of emotional here saying this. Like, I can't thank them enough for forcing me to play through this fucking game. And after 3 months of just trying to figure out what this game even is, I fucking beat it. And once I ended that stream, I just laid down in bed and cried. And I cried knowing that I did it. I overcame my fucking fear. I bested the game. I know every little secret the game has. And just like Shane, I can now boot up a new file and beat it within 20 minutes. I know how to do that now. And just like Shane, I can now boot up a new file and beat it within 20 minutes. I can do that now. And fuck, I've done it a few times. This game that seemed so alien, so confusing, so obtuse, had now just finally been bested by me. And the part that really hit me the hardest is that, well, I did it. The game never once told me what to do. The game never once told me how to solve a puzzle. Or fuck, even that there was a puzzle to solve. It never, ever tells you any of these things. It wasn't the hardest game I ever played, nor even really traditionally hard at all. But having that level of freedom mixed with my deep-rooted fear of space, making every little action take just fucking 10 times longer than a normal person would, it just... It made completing the game just feel like something I've never experienced before. And I don't know if I'll experience anything like it again. Seriously. It's fucking insane. Fuck. That was raw. Even with the script, that was raw. You know, I have like a problem with I explained this. This part's completely unscripted, but I have a problem when it comes to playing games. And like playing like older games and stuff with a guide really just makes me feel like an idiot. Like, I have a problem with playing games and just thinking that I'm a moron. Like, I remember with Metroid Dread, I 100%ed the game, but for one part, I just looked up to see if other people were stuck there, and now I feel like I didn't 100% the game, and I feel like I'm a fucking moron for not figuring that out. And I didn't even look up the solution to a puzzle. Like, I just looked up the fact that there was a puzzle there. And, like, that has haunted me with that game. And just anytime looking up solutions to a game, I just, like, get this deep-seated anxiety and, like, self-loathing of myself when I do that. I know it's really stupid and dumb, play a game however you want, but like, it just really makes me feel like I'm stupid. And it sucks. It's something I've kind of had to train myself not to feel. And the fact that with Outer Wilds, it's this fucking game that holds no punches in telling you what to do, and is all about you figuring it out, and I fucking did it. Like, that's never been a feeling I've ever had before. like, ever in my life. It's kind of started to actually help me with this sort of deep-rooted anxiety I've had. So, thanks, Outer Wilds, for that. I really, really, really fucking appreciate it. So, just please play Outer Wilds. Even if I didn't have a fear of space, I would have still made this video urging you all to play it. It left a mark on both my perception of what it even means to be a video game, and also helped me with my perception of myself. And mind you, I promise, I've spoiled fucking nothing about this game. You still know zero about this fucking game. I promise you that. I've thought long and hard about if this is my favorite game of all time, and frankly, I'm really not sure. Like, there's so many games I also love and enjoy that, like, really impacted me. But whether or not this is my favorite game, like, I can say matter-of-factly that this is the fucking best game I've ever played in my life. And I can't see anything topping it anytime soon. So just thank you, like, so much for listening to me rant about this game. And just please pick it up when you get the chance. Games like this need the recognition, and more people need to understand that games can be so much more. And that's what Outer Wilds fucking taught me.